Today I'm going to make some caramel sauce. I'm planning to use it for after Sunday's dinner. I'm having a lot of my family over and we're going to have ice cream sundaes with chocolate sauce and hot fudge sauce that I've already made. I have done a demo on caramels before and I've I use basically the same recipe, just smaller amounts, and I use, instead of sweetened condensed milk, I use just milk, and I'll tell you why. So first, I do everything in the same pot. The caramels, I do it separately. It's a little more tricky. This I just do it because I'm just going as far as sauce. So I use a fourth of a cup of butter, which is half a cube. I've already cut it here. And I use 1 cup of cream. One-quarter cup of milk. The reason I use a little milk is because you want it to cook long enough to become a creamy color. And if it's already a thick sauce, it might not also dissolve all the sugar. So I put in about a fourth of a cup of milk along with it. And I've used whole milk here. I don't think it matters much what kind of milk. Also, 1 cup of Karo syrup. 1 cup of sugar, just regular granulated sugar. I put that on top. Put the liquid stuff in first so the crystals get the moisture in it before it sticks to the pan. I also, during the cooking process, will for about 2 minutes, when it first starts to boil, put the lid on and let it steam down the sides so it gets all the crystals off the side of the pan. And I will cook it to about 216 degrees. You want it a little bit thick, but you got to remember you're putting on ice cream, and you don't want it to get hard, too thick on the ice cream. This caramel sauce is good. You can put it over cakes or anywhere you would dipping apples. I would make it a little thicker, cook it just a little longer to make it a little thicker to dip apples into. Okay, now I'm going to take it off the stove. As it melts, I'll stir it and we'll continue on. Okay, I've got it on the stove. I'm going to stir it fairly constantly until it reaches a boil. The butter is not even melted yet, so it'll take a few minutes. I'm not going to put this is one that you leave in the pan, this thermometer. And it kind of gets in the way, so I'm going to wait till it starts boiling. When it first starts boiling, I'll put the lid on, and then I will take the lid off and put the thermometer in. It's been about 3.5 minutes, and the butter is all melted, and it's starting to boil around the edges. It's been about a total of 4.5 minutes, and it's on a rolling boil. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit, and then I'm going to put the lid on. This is a more full pan, so I'm going to have to watch it carefully so it doesn't overboil. Luckily, this has a glass lid, and I can see how high it's getting. It's been about 2 minutes. I'm going to take the lid off. Let's stir it. It's not sticking. It's doing pretty well. It's pretty runny. It's going to be a little while. I'll just keep here by the stove, stirring it occasionally. When it gets a little more caramelly color, I will stick the thermometer in and let you know how it goes. Okay, well, I really mistook the number of degrees I was cooking it to. What I was checking myself was with just some ice water, because you want to know what temperature it's going to be when it's a caramel color. And this is this temperature that I cooked it to is 232 degrees. So it's quite a bit more than I had written down last time. Hopefully it won't be too thick. I'll let you know when it cools down a minute and I have my taste test. But if you can see, it's a light caramel color. If you want it to be darker, maybe add just a little bit of milk and let it cook down a little more and it'll darken it. Here's the caramel sauce. I did cook it to 232. I'm thinking about 230 would be good, but it's actually a lighter color than I've had before, and it's a little thicker. When it gets ice cream, it might be too hard. So what I'm going to do is be happy with this. It's more of a butterscotch color. The flavor's good. In the recipe, I have 1/4 of a cup to 1/2 a cup. And it took about 20 minutes to cook it, from the whole thing in there, melting the butter, bringing it to boil, the 2 minutes with the lid on. Total was about 20 minutes on my stove. And you don't have to tend it. Once it comes up to boil, just go and check it, make sure it's not scorching, but you don't have to stir it the whole time. But I think I will go to the 1/2 of a cup of the milk, and it'll make it be a little more of a caramel color, which I prefer. If you find it's too thick, just add a little bit of milk at a time. You don't want to get it too runny, but just add a little milk to it, or cream, whatever, and until it's a good consistency. And the ice cube method, put it in a bowl or a cup with ice cubes and some water, and then you'll see how it will react. You'll see how it will react when you have it on ice cream. And what I'm planning to do is, my daughter-in-law, Shauna, gave me these 2 little crock pots for Christmas. And so I'm going to have one of the chocolate sauce, the hot fudge sauce that I made a while ago, and this caramel sauce in one. And I'll put it on low and keep it going. Now, if you're having people, this is just dessert after Sunday dinner, so it goes pretty fast. But if you're having like an open house, so it will be ongoing for a while, I would just have to keep adding some probably milk to both of them so that it stays, because it tends to get thick as it's heating up. And I have these little 1/2 ounce ladles. Keep this in long enough handle that it won't fall down in, and put this in. Okay. Tastes creamy and caramely. I hope you enjoy.